In a far-off world, deep in the galaxy, there lived a girl named Lena. She was different from others. She never spoke. Not even a single word since the day she was found. She wasn't human. Her skin was pale silver, and her eyes glowed softly in the dark. Her kind came from a planet called Varel, a place where silence was rare and voices had power. But Lena had no voice. She was taken in by a cruel alien named Crag. He wasn't her real father. He married Lena's mother many years ago, and after she died, Crag was the only one left to care for Lena, but he didn't care. Not really. Crag believed Lena was broken. He laughed at her silence, mocked her in front of others. He would say, "She's useless. She can't even speak. What kind of creature doesn't talk?" Every time she walked into the room, he rolled his eyes. Every time she tried to help, he pushed her away. She never cried. She never smiled. She just listened. And in the quiet corners of Crag's metal house, she waited, watching, thinking. The neighbors avoided her. The other children ran away when she came near. Everyone believed Lena was cursed. Some said she was dangerous. Others thought she was just dumb, but none of them knew the truth. One day, everything changed. A spaceship landed near Crag's trading station. It was a human ship, big, old, but still strong. The man who stepped out was tall, with tired eyes and a scar down his cheek. His name was Captain Rain. He was a human trader. Passing through Varel for supplies. Krag saw a chance to get rid of Lena. He pulled Rain aside and whispered, "I have something for you. A worker, silent, obedient, you'll barely notice her." He pointed at Lena, who stood in the shadows, staring at them. Rain frowned. "She's a child." "She's no child," Crag lied. "She's mute. She doesn't feel anything. Take her. Cheap price." Rain didn't answer at first. He looked at Lena, her silver eyes locked onto his. They were full of something he didn't expect, pain. And maybe a question still, he agreed. He didn't know why. Maybe he felt sorry for her. Maybe he saw something in her that others didn't. Crag handed Lena over like she was nothing. She didn't fight, she didn't run. She just walked beside Rain, quiet as ever, onto the ship. That night, as the ship floated through space, Rain sat in his cabin, reading an old star map. The ship was quiet. Only the soft hum of the engine filled the air. Then he heard it, a voice soft like a whisper, like a wind through broken glass. "Don't trust him." Rain stood up fast. He looked around. No one was there. "Who's there?" he asked. Silence. Then again the voice came, this time closer, clearer. "Don't trust Crag." Rain's eyes widened. He turned toward the hallway, and there she was. Lena. Standing at the door. Her lips never moved, but he heard her. Deep in his mind, as if the words were placed inside his head, Rain stepped forward. "You spoke?" Lena blinked, slowly, her expression calm, but her eyes full of storm. "Yes," she said. But her lips didn't move. The voice was in his mind again. "Only. You can hear me." Rain couldn't believe it. She wasn't mute. She was hiding something, or maybe she was protecting something. He sat down, trying to understand. "Why now?" he asked. Lena walked in slowly, sat across from him. Her hands were cold, but her eyes were burning. "Because now." "You're in danger." Rain stared at her. "From Crag?" She nodded. "He's not just a traitor," she said in his mind. "He works with others. They use people like me. I was meant to be a tool, a watcher, a trap." Rain's heart pounded. What kind of trap? Lena leaned closer. "They see through me, hear through me. But not when I speak to you, not when I choose." Rain looked at her, stunned. This mute girl wasn't what she seemed. She had power. She had secrets, and now she was warning him. "Why help me?" he asked. She looked down. "Because he looked at me like I was a person." "Not a problem." The ship drifted through the stars. Outside, the galaxy slept, but inside, a new story was just beginning. And Lena, the mute girl who never spoke, had finally found her voice. Only for him. Captain Rain couldn't sleep that night. He kept hearing the voice in his head, Lena's voice, but not from her mouth. She never moved her lips. Yet the words felt real, like they were carved into his mind. "Don't trust Crag. Why him? Why now?" Rain stared at the small security screen in his cabin. Lena was sitting alone in the cargo bay, still and silent. Like a ghost, he walked down to her slowly. The ship was quiet, the lights dim. He stopped. At the door, "Lena," he said. She didn't move. "Lena, can you hear me?" Then he heard it again. Yes, she didn't turn. Didn't blink, but he heard her, clear, calm, and quiet. Inside his head, he stepped closer. "How are you doing this?" She turned now, her silver eyes locked on his. The glow in them was soft, but something deeper moved beneath. "Like storm clouds behind glass, I don't speak like others," she said in his mind. "My words live inside. I only give them to those I trust." Rain sat across from her on a crate. He leaned forward, serious now. "Why do you trust me?" "You didn't flinch," she said. "When Crag gave me to you, you didn't laugh. You didn't call me broken." Rain rubbed his forehead. "I'm just a traitor. I'm not a hero." Lena looked at him. "Maybe, but heroes are not born. They wake up. When it matters." Rain didn't know what to say. He had flown across galaxies. Traded weapons, food, machines. He had fought pirates, lost friends, but he had never met anyone like her. A girl with no voice, yet more truth than any words he had ever heard. He asked carefully, "What did you mean when you said, 'They see through you'?" Lena's eyes darkened. "I was part of a program," she said. "A secret one. They take children, quiet ones like me. They put tech inside us, hidden, watching, listening." Rain's blood ran cold. "You're saying you were a spy?" She nodded, "But I didn't choose it. I was just made that way." Rain leaned back, shocked. "And Crag, what was his part?" "He sells us," she whispered in his mind. "To humans, to colonies, wherever they need eyes." Rain stood, pacing. "So I'm being watched right now?" "No," Lena said, "not anymore. Once I spoke to you freely." The link was broken. He stared at her. "Why would you do that?" "You could have stayed hidden. Safe." She looked down. "I got tired of being quiet for the wrong people." Rain paused, then asked, "Can others hear you like this?" "No," she said. "Only you. Why?" "I don't know," Lena said softly. "Maybe because you listened, even before I spoke." There was silence between them for a moment. Then Rain asked the question he feared the most. "What else do you know?" Lena looked up, her face serious now. "There is a project. Hidden, called Eden. It's not just spying, it's cleansing." "Cleansing what? Humans?" Rain froze. "What? Your kind," Lena said. "Too dangerous. Too wild. Some alien leaders think you'll destroy the galaxy. Eden is their answer." Rain sat down slowly. "And Crag is helping them?" Lena nodded. "He helps select targets, places, people. He tells them who's weak, who won't be missed." Rain was silent for a long time. Then he asked, "Was I on that list?" Lena looked at him. "Yes." Rain didn't speak. "He say OYLDN single quotes to dot," Lena continued. "You were marked for removal. Until I changed something." "What did you change?" She leaned forward, her face close. Now, her voice quiet in his mind. "I refuse to spy. I refuse to watch you. They think I failed, but I chose to fail. For you." Rain felt a chill. "So now what? They'll come?" she said. "Not today, but soon. Who? Collectors, hunters, machines with voices. They'll try to take me back or erase me." Rain stood. "Then we run?" "No," Lena said. "You hide me, and I help you." He looked at her. "Help me do what?" She smiled, just a little. "Stop Eden?" Rain stared at her. This mute girl, this silent watcher. She wasn't weak. She wasn't broken. She was a key, a secret, a voice that no one else could hear, except him, outside. The stars drifted by like slow sparks in the dark inside the ship. Rain and Lena sat together, planning the impossible. A traitor and a girl who had never spoken, and yet everything had changed. With just one voice. The stars outside the ship moved slowly, like glowing dust in the darkness. Inside the quiet ship, Captain Rain stood alone in the control room, thinking about everything Lena had told him. A mute girl, a hidden spy, a secret mission to erase humans. He had seen many strange things in his years among the stars, but this felt different. This felt personal. Behind him, soft footsteps echoed. He turned. It was Lena. She stood there silently, her silver eyes calm but watchful. You should rest, Rain said. Lena stepped forward. There's something you need to see. Again, her voice was in his head, no sound in the room. Just the clear echo of her thoughts. Rain nodded. Show? Me. She led him down a narrow hallway to a dark storage room at the back of the ship. Dust floated in the beam of his flashlight. No one had entered this room since Rain bought the ship years ago. Lena moved toward a panel on the wall. She placed her hand on it. A soft light blinked. The panel slid open. Behind it was a small metal case, old, rusted, and locked with alien markings. Rain stepped forward. What is this? Lena whispered in his mind. The truth. She pressed her fingers in a strange pattern. The lock clicked. The case opened. Inside were strange chips, wires, and a small black cube. Rain picked up the cube carefully. What is this? Lena looked at him. A memory core. Rain stared. Yours? No, she said. One of the first. He placed it on the table. How does it work? She touched it gently. The cube lit up. A glowing blue hologram rose from it, spinning symbols, alien text, and a series of names. Rain stepped back. These names, they're targets, Lena said. Humans, scientists, soldiers, leaders, all marked for removal. He scanned the list. One name made his blood freeze. His brother. Commander Elric Rain. Rain stared at Lena. How long have they been planning this? She hesitated. 10 years. Rain's jaw tightened. Why now? Because humans are spreading, she said. New colonies. New weapons. Some alien leaders fear what comes next. Rain looked at the swirling data. This plan, Eden. What exactly is it? Lena walked closer. It's not just about killing, it's about control. Erase the strong. Scare the weak. Make the rest obey. Rain clenched his fists. Who's behind it? Lena looked away. Rain stepped in front of her. Tell me. She met his eyes. I was made in their labs. I heard their voices. Their leader is not alien. Rain froze. What? Lena nodded slowly. He's human. Rain took a step back, his mind racing. That doesn't make sense. It does, Lena said. He believes humans must be broken before they break everything else. Who is? He? Lena said one word. Dr. Cairo. Rain's eyes widened. He had heard that name. Dr. Elias Cairo, a brilliant mind, who vanished 5 years ago after working on military AI. Rumors said he disappeared into alien space. Others believed he was dead. He wasn't. He was building Eden. Rain sat down, breathing heavy. So you've been running from him? Lena nodded. He built the tech inside me. I was his first full test. Rain looked at her. Why did you stop following orders? She stared at him, silent. Then whispered in his mind. Because I started to feel. Rain didn't speak. He just looked at her. This girl, a mix of machine and soul, had done what no weapon should do, that she had chosen mercy. Can we stop him? Rain asked. Maybe, Lena said. But he's watching, always. Rain stood. Then we hit first. He walked to the control panel and pulled up star charts. He pointed to a red star system near the border. There's a tech broker there. Name's Vox. If anyone can pull data from this memory cube and trace Eden's base, it's him. Lena stepped forward. He's dangerous. So is Dr. Cairo. Rain said, but we have something he doesn't. Lena tilted her head. What? Rain smiled slightly. You? Outside, the stars kept moving, unaware that war was whispering toward them. And in the heart of a silent ship, a girl who once couldn't speak was about to shout with everything she had left. The planet Ravex 9 was not a place for honest people. Black smoke filled the sky. The air smelled like oil and rust. Streets were crowded with broken machines, loud alien voices, and flashing signs in 10 languages. Captain Rain stepped off his ship with Lena close behind. She wore a dark cloak now, her silver skin mostly hidden. Her eyes kept scanning the crowd. She didn't trust this place, and she was right not to. They had come here for one reason. To find a man named Vox. Vox was not a friend. Not even close. He was a tech dealer, a memory thief, and an ex-hacker who once sold stolen starship codes to pirates. But if anyone could unlock the secrets of the black memory cube Lena found, it was him. Rain pushed through the crowd toward a rusted building at the edge of the city. This way, he said. Lena followed silently. In her mind, she was already preparing escape routes. They entered a dim room filled with wires, flickering screens, and the smell of burnt circuits. From the shadows, a voice laughed. Well, well. If it isn't Captain Rain, I thought you were dead. Vox stepped forward. He was half human, half machine, his left eye glowing red, his arms full of metal plates and moving wires. Rain didn't smile. I need a file decrypted, no questions asked. Vox raised an eyebrow. In payment? Rain dropped a small bag on the table. Inside were silver credits and a glowing data stone. That's the first half, Vox chuckled. Fine, let's see what you've brought me. Rain placed the black memory cube on the table. Vox paused. His smile faded. Where did you get this? Rain said nothing. Vox looked at Lena. She brought it, didn't she? Still silence. Vox nodded slowly. All right, I'll open it. But if alarms start ringing in my skull, I'm blaming you. He connected wires from the cube to his console. Lights blinked. The room grew quiet. Lena held her breath. The screen lit up. Lines of alien code appeared. Then a voice, cold, robotic. Project Eden, Level 7 access confirmed. Files open. Maps, targets, names, weapon designs, but one file blinked in red. Protocol. Ghost. Seed Fox stared. What the hell is this? He clicked. A video started to play. It showed a lab, dark, quiet, full of machines. In the center, a glass chamber. Inside it, a small girl, silver skin. Glowing eyes. Lena. Rain froze. Lena took a step back. The voice in the video was calm, male, human. Subject 01, Lena, telepathic channel stable. Emotional resistance low, implant active. Ghost seed protocol engaged. Then the voice continued. Subject will be delivered to Handler Crag for field testing. Human contact expected. If subject breaks silence, activate fail-safe. The screen went black. Rain turned to Lena. You were the first. She nodded slowly. Vox whispered. She's not just a watcher. She was the core of it, the original test. Rain's jaw tightened. What's the fail-safe? Vox clicked a few more lines of code. His eyes widened. Oh no, what is it? Rain asked. There's a second chip inside her. Hidden deep. If she tries to break programming fully, it will shut down her neural path. Permanently. Rain clenched his fists. So if she speaks the truth too often, she dies, Vox finished. Lena was quiet. But inside, her mind was racing. She had broken the link. She had spoken freely. Was the chip already counting down? Vox leaned in. This is dark tech. And the signal is still live. Someone is watching right now. Rain grabbed the cube and pocketed it. Can you remove the chip? Vox hesitated. Maybe, but not here. I'll need a full scan chamber and time. Rain looked at Lena. Do you trust him? Lena met Vox's eyes, then shook her head. No. She said in Rain's mind. But we don't have a choice. Suddenly, the building shook. Boom. Sparks flew. Lights flickered. Vox turned to the screen. Someone just pinged the cube's location. You've got company. Rain pulled out his blaster. Time to go. Lena turned to Vox. Delete the file. Now. Vox blinked. What? If they trace it, they'll come for you. Vox stared at her, surprised by the warning, then quickly wiped the system. Rain. And Lena ran out into the street. Behind them, a black drone hovered overhead. Scanning, Lena looked up. They're close. Rain grabbed her hand. We need to disappear. They disappeared into the crowd as the drone beeped and flew in the other direction. Back in the ship. They blasted off fast. Rain sat in silence, gripping the controls. Beside him, Lena looked pale. She turned to him. The fail-safe, it's ticking. Rain looked at her. Then we find someone who can stop it, and we do it fast. Outside, Ravix 9 grew smaller behind them, but something much larger was now chasing them. The secret was out, and the countdown had begun. The ship was moving fast, faster than it ever had before. Stars stretched into long white lines outside the window. Inside, the lights flickered. The engine groaned. Captain Rain sat in the pilot's chair, fists tight on the controls. His jaw was clenched. His eyes didn't blink. Beside him, Lena was quiet, but her body was shaking, not from fear, from something deeper. Something inside her. It had started just after they left Ravax -9, a pain behind her eyes. Then her nose began to bleed. Then her hands went cold. Rain noticed right away. "Lena, what's wrong?" She didn't answer with words, she only looked at him. And he heard her voice in his mind, fainter than before. "The chip! It's waking up!" Rain stood quickly. He touched her forehead, burning hot. No, stay with me," he said. "We'll find help." Lena shook her head slowly. "There's not much time." Rain slammed his fist on the console. "I won't let them take you," he said. "Not like this." He turned and opened a panel on the side of the dashboard. Inside was an old, dusty emergency drive. It connected to one place, Station Hollow 7, a hidden outpost deep in the asteroid belt. He whispered, "There's a woman there, name's Dr. Celine Morrow. She used to work on tech like this." Lena's voice in his mind was weak. "Will she help?" "She owes me," Rain said. "And she hates people like Cairo." He pressed the jump, the ship jerked, then vanished into hyperspace. 3 hours later, they landed on Hollow 7, a broken moon surrounded by rocks and shadows. The station itself was carved into the rock, hidden behind black glass and metal. Rain carried Lena in his arms. Her skin had gone dim, the silver glow fading. She was slipping. Inside the station, lights flickered. Machines hissed. The place smelled of chemicals and dust. Rain banged on a large steel door. "Celine, open up!" "Nothing," he hit again. "It's Rain. I have a girl. She's dying." A pause, then the door slid open. A tall woman with white hair and mechanical gloves stood there, her eyes cold but curious. "Rain," she said, "still dragging trouble to my door?" Rain stepped forward. "She has a chip inside." "Eden Tech, it's activating?" Celine's eyes widened, the first time he'd seen her surprised. "Inside," she said. Rain placed Lena on a metal table. Selene scanned her body with a glowing blue device. "Gods," Selena muttered. "This is Cairo's work, all right. Deep-layered neural locks and a time-triggered failsafe. Can you remove it?" Rain asked. Selene didn't answer right away. She looked at Lena. "You're lucky you made it this far, girl." Lena's voice barely touched Rain's mind. "I'm not lucky, just stubborn." Selene actually smiled at that. Then she turned serious. "I can remove it," she said. "But—" Rain stepped closer. "But what?" "If I cut too deep, she'd lose part of her brain's natural functions. She could forget everything. Even you." Rain stared at Lena. "Forget him?" "Forget who she is?" Lena opened her eyes. "Weak. But clear. Do it." "No," Rain said. "Lena, if I don't, I die anyway," she whispered. "At least this way I choose." Selene looked at them both, then nodded. She powered up the table. "Hold on, girl," she said. "Let's crack open some nightmares." The operation took 17 minutes. 17 minutes of silence. Sparks and the soft hum of tools moving inside a brain. Rain stood outside the chamber, his hands shaking. He had faced pirates, alien storms, bounty hunters, but nothing scared him like this. Finally, Selene stepped out. "It's done," she said. Rain ran inside. Lena was lying still, eyes closed. "Lena?" he whispered. No response. He reached out, touched her hand. "Come on, kid. You fought too hard to stop here." Her fingers twitched. Then her voice returned, not just in his mind, but in a soft whisper from her lips. "You owe me better planet." Rain laughed through tears. "Yeah, I do." Selene smiled faintly. "She need rest, but the chip's gone, clean." Rain nodded. "Thank you." Selene tilted her head. "What are you going to do now?" Rain looked at Lena, weak but alive. "I'm going to stop Cairo." Selene folded her arms. "Then you'll need this." She handed him a small drive. "What's this?" "Backdoor codes to Eden's outer network. Cairo used to send me prototypes. I kept a few secrets." Rain took it. "You're full of surprises." Selene shrugged. "I used to be someone before I stopped trusting humans. Rain looked at Lena. She reminded me why I still do, he said. Back on the ship, Lena rested on the bed, eyes half open. Rain sat beside her. You scared me, he said. She smiled faintly. You were scared? A little. She looked at him, her voice quiet, now real, now heard. I remember you. Rain's heart skipped. You didn't forget? She shook her head slowly. I held on to the only voice that believed in mine. Outside, the stars blinked in silence, but inside the ship, the voice once stolen was finally free, and this time, it was ready to fight. The stars outside burned like silent watchers. Inside the ship, Lena stood at the observation window, her hand resting on the glass. Her silver skin had regained its glow. The lines of pain on her face were gone, but her eyes, they still carried the weight of the past. Rain stepped beside her. You sure you're ready? She nodded slowly. I'm free now. But that doesn't mean safe, Rain sighed. We have the backdoor code Selene gave us. If we can get to a relay station, we might trace Cairo's base. Lena turned to him. And then what? Then we end this. She looked down. What if it's not enough? Rain met her eyes. Then we make it enough. 3 hours later, the ship dropped out of hyperspace near an abandoned relay station orbiting a dead planet. The station floated like a grave in space, silent, cold, forgotten. Rain scanned the area. No heat signatures, no ships. Looks clear. They docked and stepped inside. The air inside the station was stale. Walls covered in dust. Broken screens blinked slowly. A faded sign flickered on the wall. Station Relay 12B, decommissioned. Lena held the small drive with the Eden backdoor codes in her hand. They moved to the central terminal. Rain connected. The drive. The screen lit up. Lines of code appeared. Fast and complex. Lena leaned in. It's working. It's bypassing the firewalls. Rain's fingers flew over the keys. I'm in. A map appeared. Star systems. Red dots, one of them pulsing. Sector 44X, that's where the signal's coming from, Rain said, but before he could trace it, the screen went black. Then click, metal doors slammed shut behind them. Rain spun around, blaster raised. Lena, get behind me. From the shadows, footsteps echoed. And then a voice, familiar, cold, human. I warned them she'd break protocol. And here we are. A man stepped into the light, tall, wearing black armor. A thin scar ran down his neck. Dr. Elias Kairo. Lena stepped forward, her voice like a steel blade. You were supposed to be dead, Cairo smiled. Disappointing, isn't it? Rain aimed the blaster at him. How did you find us? I didn't, Cairo said. You found me. This whole station is one of my satellites. Rain's hands tightened. The map was a trap, Cairo nodded. You gave me everything I needed. I knew you'd take the bait eventually. The backdoor code was just a leash. Lena's eyes burned. You used me like a machine. No. Cairo said, I built you. You are my finest design. I'm not yours, she said. Yet you still speak with my voice, he replied. Your mind, no matter how free you feel, is mine. Rain fired. The blast hit Cairo and passed through him. A hologram. Kairo laughed. I'm not foolish enough to stand near a broken asset and a desperate smuggler, Rain cursed. Where's the real you? Cairo ignored him. His image turned to Lena. You think emotions make you powerful? That choosing kindness makes you better? He leaned forward slightly, voice lowering. Kindness is the first step toward failure. Lena stared back, calm, unshaken. No, it's the first step toward rebellion. Cairo's image glitched. Very well, he said, then rebel. But understand, this is only the beginning. The screen behind him lit up. Hundreds of names, thousands, a list. Rain stepped forward. What is this? Lena whispered. The next wave. Cairo smiled. Eden was only phase 1. What comes next is irreversible, unless, of course, you return, Lena, surrender. Never, she said. Then enjoy your last hour, Cairo said. The hologram vanished. An alarm blared. Rain turned to the console. He activated the self-destruct. This whole station's rigged. Can you stop it? Lena asked. Rain typed fast. No, but I can delay it. The countdown began flashing. Why? 59 minutes and 59 seconds. 59 to 58. Lena grabbed the drive. We need this. Data, Rain nodded. Go, I'll handle the override. Lena hesitated. I won't leave without you. Rain gave her a hard look. That's not a choice. She didn't move, then he whispered softer, I'll find you. I promise. She ran in the ship. Lena threw the drive into the ship's core system. Lights flashed. Maps loaded. She had everything. She turned to the door. Rain wasn't there. Inside the station, Rain typed furiously. Sparks flew. His hands bled, but he held the countdown. Just enough time. He ran outside. The ship lifted just as the station exploded behind them. A ball of silent flame in the void. Lena stood at the window. Breath shaking. Then become cracked. Still here. Rain's voice. She turned to see his small escape pod flying toward the ship. She opened the hatch and pulled him inside. You're late, she said. You're welcome, he coughed, grinning. Later, as they sat together, the stars calm again. Lena placed the drive on the table. This, she said, is our weapon now. Rain nodded. And our proof. But how many more traps are out there? She asked. Rain looked at her, steady, certain. Doesn't matter. He pointed to the stars. We're going straight to the center of Eden. We burn it all down. Lena smiled faintly. Good, I'm tired of running. And this time they weren't alone. They had names, they had proof, they had purpose. Now, they had a war to start. The galaxy was waking up. Across systems, encrypted files were spreading. Hidden names, secret projects. Evidence of a plan that was never meant to be found. Project Eden was no longer a rumor. It was a threat, and at the center of it all, a girl who had once been silent. Now she was the only one everyone wanted to hear, aboard the Central Peace Council station. Leaders of 7 alien races sat around a circular chamber. News of Project Eden had shaken them all. Fear was in the air, disguised as silence. A human general spoke first. You expect us to believe this came from one of our own? Rain stood in the middle of the chamber, calm, firm. The evidence is on this drive. The plans, the names, the voices. A blue-skinned ambassador leaned forward. And the witness? Rain turned. Lena stepped forward. Gasps echoed. Some had heard of her. Few believed she was real. She walked slowly, eyes clear, silver skin glowing under the white chamber lights. Speak, one of the elders said. She closed her eyes. Then opened them. And for the first time in her life, she spoke out loud. No. Telepathy. No hidden thoughts, just her voice, real, steady, strong. My name is Lena. I was made to watch you, spy on you, destroy you. But I chose something else. Silence filled the chamber. She held up the data drive. This is the truth. The man behind Eden is not just a scientist. He is a traitor to both humans and aliens. Dr. Elias Cairo, Rain added. He used fear to control. He used silence as a weapon. The human general stood. Where is he now? Lena's eyes sharpened. He's coming. At that moment, above the station, a dark ship emerged from hyperspace. Black, sharp, shaped like a dagger. He came to finish what he started, inside his ship. Cairo watched the council chamber on a screen. He smiled coldly. She finally spoke. Too late. He pressed a button. Below, the chamber lights flickered. Cairo's virus had reached the station's systems. Panic broke out. We're under attack, shouted a guard. Rain pulled Lena behind him. We have to move. But Lena didn't run. She walked to the center of the room, stood tall, and faced the central camera broadcasting across the network. A galaxy watched her now. She looked into the lens and spoke again. You tried to erase me. You told me silence was my only gift. But now, my voice is stronger than your machines. Behind her, Rain uploaded the final file, a full dump of Eden's orders. Leaders, funding chains. Cairo's face appeared on every screen. His orders, his voice, his betrayal. The leaders watched in horror. You've lost, Lena whispered. Back in Cairo's ship. His hands trembled. He sent override codes, viruses, scramblers, but it was too late. His empire was exposed. He screamed. I made you, and from the speaker Lena's voice echoed, You did. And now I will unmake you, minutes later. Caro's ship was surrounded by defense fleets. He was captured without a shot fired. His last words, Before being taken, I'd built perfection, and they gave it a soul. 2 days later. The chamber was calm again. The Eden Project was declared illegal by all 7 galactic councils. Trials would begin. Arrests were already spreading across systems. Rain stood beside Lena on a balcony overlooking the stars. You did it, he said. Lena shook her head gently. We did. Rain looked at her. What now? She breathed in slowly. Her voice was soft, but no longer hidden. Now I help others like me. He raised an eyebrow. There are more? She nodded. Not just watchers. Survivors. Some still trapped. Some still scared. But they need to hear someone who broke free, Rain smiled. And who better to teach them? She turned to him. Will you stay? Rain laughed. I flew halfway across the galaxy with a telepathic girl and a war criminal chasing us. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Lena looked at the stars. This time they didn't feel cold. They felt open. 1 week later, in a new broadcast room, Lena stood before a camera again. But this time, it wasn't for war. It was for hope. She looked at the blinking red light. If you can hear me, if you feel forgotten, broken, used, listen. They told me silence was safety. But silence is only safety for those who fear the truth. Your voice is yours. It matters even if it shakes. She smiled, especially if it shakes. In every corner of the galaxy, people watched. Some cried. Some stood taller. And some who had once been silent finally began to speak. The girl who was never supposed to speak had just changed the world with her voice.